Hey guys, so if this video is a little bit darker, it's literally because it's super hot in England. And before anyone's like, oh, I live in Australia and it's literally like super hot here, so your hot isn't hot enough. Okay, I live in a country where it's just cold and raining. So when it gets to like 30 degrees in the UK, it's not like a normal 30 degrees where you're like, wow, this is nice, I can go tan a little bit. It feels like you're in an oven. I don't know why the heat in England is just hits a little different, because whenever I go on holiday, I'm like, oh, 40 degrees living, but then I'm here and it's like 25 degrees and I'm already suffering. So I am suffering today. So the blinds are down, the fan is on, it's directly pointing at me, and I hope that's okay with you guys. I hope that's, you know, something that you guys are like a-okay with. Not that you guys have much of a choice because you're already watching this video. This video is already done, edited and posted, so it's not like you can, you know, change that. So Instagram, Twitter, follow me on there. On Twitter, almost on 100k. Wow, I guess you're there for my posts. And then Instagram as well, I think we're on like 70 something k, and you know, onwards and upwards, I guess. Second channel in description. I'll have a video on there, like a new video by the time you're watching this video, hopefully. If not, it'll be somewhere around then, so subscribe. This intro is just long. A lot of stuff has been happening on the internet now, and I'm here to give you updates because this does not seem to be ending. This whole situation, this whole Jeffree, James, Tati, Shane situation does not seem to have an end. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I've posted 2 videos about this in the last 2 days because I've been on my grind securing the bag. So I've posted 2 videos about this whole situation. The first one was the Jeffree Star video, which I go over his apology of sorts, explanation for his behavior, which didn't mention most of the things that we actually wanted to hear. Like I forgot to mention that in the video that I was filming about Jeffree. He mentions, you know, the whole lipstick cosmetics brand that he wanted to create. He spoke about, you know, his blog posts and all that stuff. Why have you still to this day not mentioned Dawson Vanity in that whole situation? Is it because you have no good explanation for it? Like, it seems like Jeffree picks and chooses what things he wants to address depending on how much evidence he has to support his behavior. When it comes to Dawson Vanity or being friends with a lot of criminals, he has really no excuse for it, so he just does not acknowledge it, doesn't address it. And until you address everything, I don't want to hear it. I really don't. So I posted a video on Jeffree Star, and then I posted a video on Shane Dawson because he recently posted an essay about the beauty community. So I kind of dissected that in the video. If you want to watch it, both of those will be in the description. And this is part 3 out of knows how many about this whole situation. So let's get into it. Jeffree Star has now been posting manipulative tweets to have people pity him and go easy on him because he started losing subs on YouTube, which is very unusual for him because usually his cult members are blind to the shit that he does. So he put I've missed most of those tweets. The only tweets I have are the ones that people sent me in DMs because, as you guys know, I am still blocked by Jeffree Star and I have a second account, except I forget to use it a lot of the time. So I don't see Jeffree Star's tweets until someone sends them to me. And then I jump over to his Twitter account, and by the time I go, they're all deleted because he is not brave enough to keep them on there. I went and I couldn't find any of these unless, okay, hear me out. Jeffree has been tweeting and retweeting a lot about his palettes and products, more than he usually does. And I don't know if that's because when he tweets something about his behavior, he wants it to get lost in his other tweets. So like if you went on his Twitter, you wouldn't probably find the tweets about him acknowledging his shitty behavior, but if anyone calls him out for it, he'll be like, well, I did post it, it's not my fault you missed it. And I feel like he's just trying to like hide it under like piles of him just going, oh my god, glad you're enjoying the makeup palette. Like, that's all his Twitter account is right now, and it's never been like this. He'll reply to like 1 or 2 people, but now he's replying to like every single tweet at him that is positive, and it just so happens that then his like tweets acknowledging his behavior get really lost, so most people won't see them, but they're there. So that's his excuse, right? But it's like the tweets are there, so my fault you can't see them. So there's tweets such as, my coping mechanisms for past trauma sometimes makes more problems for me and the people around me. Don't let anyone ever tell you it's too late to get help. Mental health is more important than anything on the planet. Once again, we're bringing mental health into things. Look, mental health, tough thing to deal with. However, why is it that this whole mental health talk is coming up when you're losing subs? Why is that the first time we're hearing of it? Then someone tweeted at Jeffree saying, so getting your millions of fans to hate on a 19-year-old that almost led to suicide was a coping mechanism for you. And he said, if that's the fake narrative you want to believe, great. Move on and worry about your own life and actions. Mine are not your problem. let's dissect this for a moment. Hold on. Fake narrative. Fake narrative is the fact that a 34-year-old, 31-year-old, and a 38-year-old all attacked a 19-year-old with allegedly no evidence, led him to contemplating suicide, and that is a fake narrative now. Jeffree, you do realize this is like a public ordeal, right? Like, this didn't happen behind the scenes. This isn't like alleged information. This all happened in front of our eyes. This is what I mean by manipulative tweets. It is essentially gaslighting people into believing a whole different narrative. Like, oh yeah, we all publicly saw that this happened, but if I call it a fake narrative, people might start to believe me again. So I think Jeffree's just going around going fake news, and if you speak otherwise, then you are, you know, hateful and all sorts. And it's going to make people feel bad for calling him out because, you know, Jeffree has this way of like guilt tripping people. Anyway, he goes, move on and worry about your own life and actions. How do you know that this person has, one, a life, and two, has made the actions? Like, how do you know that? How did you come to that conclusion? Is it because you think you're filthy rich and that makes you better than other people? Because I think that's the vibe I get from Jeffree, where whenever someone comes at him, he goes, well, worry about your own life because I am super rich, filthy, and that makes me much better than you, even though he associates with criminals. Why did my camera just move a little bit? Ghosts confirmed. Yeah, I think he just genuinely thinks that him being rich somehow makes him a good human being when he literally associates with criminals. Where do we go with that? Then he goes, mine are not your problem. Yes, they are. Jeffree, they are. Because you are a public figure. You have 18 million subscribers. You have a makeup brand. You get money from people. You have influence. Your actions are everyone's problem. I'm getting so heated, because he's just brain dead. He doesn't understand. He doesn't compute things. He doesn't understand anything, or he's just so manipulative. I don't know if he's an idiot or if he's a genius. It could go either way, really, at this point. He could just be an idiot that doesn't understand how things work, or he could be the biggest genius and is genuinely just trying to manipulate people into thinking that somehow his actions don't affect the rest of the community on YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna take a breather because that was out of character for me. I try not to be, you know, 2018, 2019 Angelika who screams at a camera. I'm trying to really, you know, hold it together. Then a few tweets came out how Jeffree Star not only hung out with a lot of criminals and associated with them, gave them a platform, but he also has almost glamorized criminals. You know how we make fun of those girls that are like, if I was alive at the same time as Ted Bundy, I would change him and he would fall in love with me. Like, no sis, he would have tortured you and killed you, idiot. Jeffree Star's name on Snapchat is allegedly Jeffree Dahmer, who's like one of the most prolific murderers. So someone said his name on Snapchat is literally Jeffree Dahmer, and then someone replied to it saying, didn't he have an obsession with killing gay men? And then someone did, oh my god, you're right, Jeffree is also obsessed with John Benet Ramsey. The more I find out about him, the more sick I get, and people start posting, you know, different like proof. So if you guys don't know, Jeffree Dahmer was a serial killer and offender who committed the murder and dismemberment of 17 men and boys from 78 to 91. And yeah, that's that on that. And here's a few different screenshots of his name from different like accounts and different people, just to see that that person who originally posted it didn't change it somehow. Here's a lot of just things. And then he also started replying in 2010. He replied to Ian Watkins. So he says, why wasn't I invited to the tape? And Ian Watkins replied saying, well, I did ask, but your people told me that you wouldn't be able to fit me in, which is just great. And then 2 years later, on December 19th, 2012, Watkins was charged with conspiracy to engage in sexual activity with a 1-year-old girl and possession and or distribution of indecent images of children and extreme animal pornography. Charges that were heard at Cardiff Magistrates Court. He was, you know, custody, whatever. So yeah, there's a chance that he didn't know this person was going to end up like this, but how does someone flip the switch like that? You are either a criminal or you're not, and a lot of the times the people around you will know that you there's something slightly wrong with you. So I don't know, I mean, this could be he could have not known, and he could have stopped associating with him by 2012, but the fact that he's friends with so many people that came out to be criminals, there's something wrong. Like, even if he was hanging out with them before he realized they were criminals, isn't it a bit of a coincidence how many criminals he hung out with? How do you come across that many potential criminals? Darby Vanity, Ian Watkins, there's that guy who ran the revenge porn website. How do you attract those kind of people into your life? And then Jeffree posted a first date does my makeup, and a lot of people are wondering if the timing of this is a little convenient, because it's one of his first videos with a person of color, so it's a little convenient that he's being called out for being racist and, you know, all the things that he's being called out for, and this is the time when he chooses to actually film a video with a person of color. I don't know. And then actually Jeffree Star was unfollowed by a lot of like big people in the industry. So for example, he was unfollowed by Morgan Adams, who is Ryland's sister, and Ryland said, is Shane Dawson's fiance. So T there, like that's someone that's really in the circle, and for her to unfollow him, she must have a lot of him. Like I have a feeling that she knows stuff behind the scenes, and when she saw, you know, all the statements they started making, maybe she just felt a little uncomfortable, or she just did this for her own career's sake, which I completely respect. Distancing yourself from someone who's just not good for you or your career, which I think something that Shane Dawson needs to reconsider. He was also unfollowed by ABH, Fenty, Jojo Siwa, we stand Jojo Siwa, Pout, which is Lipstick Nick's brand, but Lipstick Nick still follows him. So is this all just like performative, where they're like, oh, I'm gonna just distance myself for my career's sake, but behind the scenes I'm still gonna associate with him? Is that what the tea is? Then actually Tati posted a pretty vague tweet. So Tati posted after basically 2 months of not posting anything. At the beginning of May, she said that she will be taking a break, and it's the end of June and she's still not back, but she posted a tweet saying, you've waited there for me, keep waiting there for me, and it's with a song that I'm not going to post because copyright reasons. And people thought that she was going to come out with the biggest like Bye Sister 2.0, but like against Jeffree, not James again, poor James, that she was going to come out with a video just basically clarifying everything, clarifying why she said what she said, what happened during that time, if she was manipulated by Jeffree, how much of an involvement Shane had, that kind of a thing. And people genuinely thought that she was going to come out with this video. I think we're all being lied to. No one's posting a video. I don't think Tati's going to post a video, and if she does, wow, that's about to be Dramageddon 3. If she comes out with a 45-minute video, I'm gonna really just wow. Wow, that's all I can say. But she still hasn't posted a video, and some people are saying that she might just retire after this. Some people are saying that she might post one last video then retire. Some people are saying that she will film an explanation video and then go back to regular content. Some people are saying that she's just gonna come back with regular content. I mean, the options are endless, but I'm waiting with patience. And then actually, after she posted that tweet, so this is the confusing part. Do you guys remember during Bye Sister, Tati posted the video, and then Gabriel Zamora actually went super hard on her, like did Instagram stories where he was basically just calling her a liar, saying that she's doing this for attention, yada yada yada. We all remember this, right? So like Gabriel and Tati, not best buds. Tati posted that tweet at 1:44 a.m. on the 23rd of June, and then Gabriel Zamora at 8 a.m. posts she ain't, and you guys are finally seeing it, lol, which some people assumed was about Tati because of that tweet. So he's saying like she's not going to post a video exposing anything. She has no tea, no facts, no tea, no shade, none of that stuff. And Def Noodles posted saying, Gabriel Zamora sends cryptic tweet that appears to be aimed at Tati Westbrook, who posted on Twitter today after hiatus. Tati mentioned in Bye Sister video that comments made by Gabriel were part of the reason why she decided to expose James Charles. Is Dramageddon 3 in full swing? But some also thought that Gabriel could be making that tweet about Nikita Dragun, because recently Nikita Dragun made a very insensitive comment by accident, I'm assuming, because she is doing a collaboration with ABH, and in an Instagram story she said something like, I've got my foot on their necks or something, like it's like on their throats, something along those lines, where it's basically supposed to be like, I've got them on ropes, like on the edge. But you know, with everything happening now with George Floyd and how he passed away, it kind of seemed a little insensitive. I'm not saying she did it on purpose, that's why I'm kind of saying like she apologized. That's fine. I just think it was definitely just like a saying that she used because she was excited and then didn't realize how it sounded. So some people are saying that Nikita and Gabriel used to be friends, but now they've like stopped hanging out, and she's been hanging out with like the Hype House people and TikTok crew. So that people are wondering if Gabriel is referring to Nikita's apology, saying like, oh, she and you guys are finally seeing it, or is it about Tati? Because people have, you know, over the last year kind of cancelled Tati, where she's constantly losing subs, she's not getting as many views as she used to, her career seems to be on a decline, and now people are thinking she's going to come back with this like big explanation and redeem herself, and it seems like Gabriel's basically just saying like, no, absolutely not, she's not shit. She doesn't have anything, she's not gonna, you know, do anyway. And then actually today for me, but I don't know what time it is for other people, Samantha Ravindal, who I actually spoke about in my last video. So in my last video I spoke about Shane Dawson basically dragging the whole beauty community. I'm going to do a quick recap. Obviously watch that video for like an in-depth what was said, what was thought. He basically dragged the whole community because he's friends with Jeffree Star, who obviously associates with toxic people like Nikita Dragun, Jaclyn Hill, James Charles, you know, that whole scene of the 1% in the beauty community who are, you know, very toxic. So he took that knowledge of the beauty community that he has and he applied it to the whole beauty community, when, you know, most people aren't like that. Like Raw Beauty Christie's just having a baby that she's been trying for the last like over a decade. Samantha Ravindal is just doing her like first impressions, get ready with me's, like little challenges. There are smaller beauty channels who make like commentary style videos regarding beauty, which are super interesting. I started getting into those videos because of Smokey Glow, and then because I watched a lot of Smokey Glow's videos, those would start popping up, like Abby Williams and Julia and just a lot of people that have been popping up for me. And there are just so many like non-toxic people in the beauty community that it just seemed a little off that he was like, well, those are the people that you guys chose to watch. And then he also dragged the beauty community for having certain characteristics like being narcissistic, toxic, lying, etc. And then he said, and yeah, Jeffree has those same characteristics, but he's family to me, so like I accept it. When someone's family to you, point out their mistakes, because you are, you know, as family, you're kind of responsible for telling them like, hey, your behavior's so geesh. So I don't know why you would give Jeffree a pass for something that you're essentially saying that you're stepping out of the drama community for. It's like you're leaving the beauty community because of X and R characteristics, but when Jeffree is those characteristics, you're fine with him. Just seems a little hypocritical, which I already spoke about in my last video. And Samantha Ravndal, who I spoke about in my last video as one of the like non-toxic beauty gurus, she came out with a video basically called "The Entire Beauty Community Isn't Toxic, You Are." And she essentially does what like all the rest of us did, which is read out the statement and kind of dissect it bit by bit where she thought it was necessary. I'll put that video in the description because I thought it was really well done from the point of view of someone who's been in the beauty community for so long. I don't know, it's just like she's never really done these videos before, so when she does it, like you can tell she's pissed. And she just goes over, one, the hypocrisy of the statement, then two, the beauty community as a whole. She dissects the things he said and why she doesn't agree with them. She talks about, you know, just like how much she doesn't support Shane now because of the Jeffree association, like heavily aligning himself with Jeffree Star, which is like, yeah, you can't expect the beauty community around you to be non-toxic when the people you associate yourself with from the beauty community are really toxic. It's just about finding the right group of people, and like any community will be toxic if you only pick the toxic people to hang out with, and any community will not be toxic if you pick the nice people to hang out with. And I think like I said in my last video, if he had just picked different people for the series, picked maybe like an indie brand, his whole vibe of the beauty community would have been so different than him picking Jeffree Star and being dragged into all of that. Also, what's been brought to my attention is, who was it that said this? I'm actually not sure, but someone said this. Shane doesn't like being dragged into drama, and he said that in one of his like little paragraphs in the essay. He said he's constantly, like since doing the series, he's constantly being dragged into drama videos, he's constantly being dragged into exposed videos. However, since the series has started and Jeffree Star has been called out for his behavior on any podcast, interview, video, he's said like Shane, Dawson and me. Like he won't say, when he's being accused of doing something problematic or just being a toxic person, he doesn't say, well, I did this because, or I did this because. He goes like, oh, well, do you think me and Shane Dawson have to do that? Like, do you think me and Shane Dawson would want to cancel someone? Like he constantly makes them a duo, like joins them together into all this drama. So even if it's just Jeffree Star drama, he makes it a Shane Dawson and Jeffree problem rather than just a Jeffree problem. So it's not us dragging Shane Dawson into drama, it is Jeffree dragging Shane into his own issues and making it a two-person issue. Like the Mum's Basement podcast where Keem mentioned the James Charles situation, and instead of just talking about himself because he was the one that called James a danger to society, he goes, well, do you think me and Shane have to do that? Like we're our own rock stars, we don't have to cancel James, we can, like, we have our own great careers. Like Shane wasn't necessary in that conversation, but he was dragged into it by Jeffree. So it's not us dragging Shane into drama videos, it's not us starting this and exposing him, it's Jeffree dragging Shane into this. So he's not left alone in it, because it's easier to, you know, fight the battle as two than as one, and Jeffree sees that and he's dragging Shane into it, and Shane just doesn't realize. So that's that. James Charles also coincidentally around this time, the thing is, I'm not sure if this is about, I think it's a mixture of two. Anyway, so James Charles tweeted out saying, sexual assault is really serious and it's absolutely disgusting that making false allegations is becoming a trend right now. All it does is invalidate actual victims when they feel ready to come forward. Victims deserve to be heard and should never be invalidated, but it's insane that anonymous, newly made accounts are popping up with stories and people are just believing it with no proof at all. I'm not defending anyone, but there are always two sides to every story. And he's talking about how many celebrities now are being accused of things by accounts that have like no profiles and, you know, just very like anonymous accounts. And some stories add up and some of them, the dates don't really line up. So it has come out that some of them are false now, and it does invalidate actual true stories where people are now ashamed to come out and say anything because they're scared that people are not going to believe them because of these false allegations. Now James is tweeting this because of these celebrities being accused of things, but also it's something that he's been accused of literally a year ago, and someone like replied to him saying we should always believe the victims, and he goes, yeah, but like I know what it feels like to be falsely accused of sexual assault, so I'm speaking from experience how much that can ruin your career and ruin your life. So this was definitely a dig at Jeffree, Shane and Tati, where he was like, see what you're doing. So yeah, do you guys think this is Dramageddon 3? Are we like preparing for a big explosion of things? What if Tati posts? That would be insane. I want to see what she would say. I want Tati to post. I want Tati to clear the air, because until she clears the air, her career is going to be on a decline. I'm saying this now, she needs to post the video ASAP, and she needs some good evidence in there, because James Charles pulled the biggest Uno reverse card with his No More Lies video, and I just need Tati to say her side of the story and why she did what she did, and maybe then we can kind of, you know, go from there and see where everyone just ends up. Anyway, that was fun. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below anything, comment down below, and subscribe because I post videos every time something happens, which might be a lot or it might be, you know, not a lot. Hit that bell, you'll be notified when that's happening. Social media links and second channel in the description, as well as any other links that you might need, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.